guys, it's Quana back again with another review. Hope you guys are doing awesome. So I really wanted to come here today and tell you about a new show that just hit Netflix that I think you are going to fall in love with. And that show is called One Day. It is based on the book that came out in 2009 and then was later adapted into a film starring Anne Hathaway in 2011. This series adaptation stars Ambiko and Leo Woodsall. You might recognize Leo from The White Lotus, and you might recognize Ambiko from This Is Going to Hurt. I binge watched the entire 14 episode series today and started this morning, ended this evening, and fell in love with these characters. It's the story of two young people who meet or hook up after their college graduation, and it's set on one day, one specific day each year over the course of 20 years, give or take. I was not familiar with the book or the movie, so this is a no spoiler review. If you're not familiar with it, I would say go into it just expecting a beautiful love story to play out, and you will be heartbroken possibly at the end. I just have to give you that warning, but you will enjoy the ride. And of course, if you've already read the book or you've seen the movie, then you know exactly what is going to play out. It definitely hits all of the major plot beats of both of those works, the book and the film adaptation, but it definitely goes into more detail, follows the book more closely, dives into the character development a lot more, and for that I think that the series is a beautiful series. I would most closely say that this resembles From Scratch, starring Zoe Saldana, which hit Netflix last year and got a lot of acclaim and a huge following. I would say that it feels very much like that series, except for in the way in which I wanted to spend more time with those characters. I feel as though this gave us more time with those characters to see their story play out. There is so much chemistry between these two actors, and you immediately root for them, which is an amazingly hard thing to do, considering that you meet these characters and they have their meet cute moment within the first 3 to 5 minutes of this show, and from there you're just following along with the ride. You really want them to win. The main female lead, Ambiko, reminded me a lot of Ayo Idebiri. Very much so. Like facial expressions, mannerisms reminded me of her character, especially her character from The Bear, a lot. And the show is a bit of a slow burn, so you are spending some time with these characters before they actually fully fulfill their romantic arc. But I definitely feel as though the payoff was satisfactory. Now, I want to get into a little bit of a deeper dive later on with the series, so I want everyone to be able to watch this series, enjoy this series, because I would love to talk about this a bit more, because there are things that happen within this series and within the relationship of these two characters that I definitely feel was like completely unavoidable. If this was real life, they could have avoided a lot of the situations that they got into. But it's also a beautiful story that follows not just their love journey, but the journey into adulthood and maturity. It takes place, or it starts in the late 80s and then spans all the way into the early 2000s. And it's a beautiful way to look at how young people feel a pressure to perfect their lives at such a young age. They are expected to go off into the world and immediately become adults, and sometimes that journey looks like a journey that takes quite some time. Adulthood looks different from everyone. What happens when you go to college, you graduate, and then life just doesn't hand itself over to you. You have to figure it out. You have to figure out career, family, romance, relationships. And how do you juxtapose that to the narrative we tell in society, which is that you're young, you need to be free, you need to explore life. But so much of that is not true in society, because there's a lot of expectation for people to get it right and to perfect adulthood right away. And I thought that this show did a great job of showcasing that as well. These are two people who spend quite some time trying to figure out what their adulthood is going to look like. And I think that's a great journey that anybody of any age can relate to. I think even if you are later on in life and you're ending a career and getting ready to start a new career, you can relate to these characters' struggles. It's not only set and focused on their romantic lives, but you get to explore their friendships, their relationships with their family, and really their journey into discovering who they are as individuals, which I think is so important, because so often in shows and movies that are centered on love, the characters don't feel like they understand who they are, and they just jump into relationships, and they don't really get to bring their fullest self to their relationship. And I thought that this did a great job of showcasing that. I will say this, expect to have some tears, especially around episode 13 and 14. There will be some tears. Go ahead and gird your loins and prepare for that. But most importantly, let me know in the comments if you've already had a chance to watch the show, or if you're familiar with the movie or the book, because I was completely blinded by it. I literally just went into watching this show because Sharonda Williams from Pay Her Way was like made a post about it and was like, you have to watch it. And so I was like, I'm gonna watch it, and woke up this morning, watched it, and was like glued to my phone screen for the entire day. So I really enjoyed it. I definitely, it's probably going to be one of my most rewatched Netflix series. I don't know, I feel like this should have gotten way more time and attention to the marketing, because this feels like a great placeholder for audiences who love Bridgerton. This is going to give you your fix until March, until we wait for March to happen and we get our Bridgerton fix. But let me know in the comments what you thought of the show, and if you've watched it, please come back, because I do want to do a breakdown of this show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Toodles!